Is Brown-Phillips coming to you today with another client testimonial from a client of mine, Mark. Mark is a seasoned investor located in the state of Georgia, and he's going to share his story of what it was like working with me and, getting the business funding that he plans to leverage for his real estate business. So how are you doing, Mark?
I am doing excellent, Lorella. How are you?
Doing great. So Mark, I know
Good.
we had a great conversation. You shared your experience with working with me, but if you can let the viewing audience know what was the experience like and, in full transparency.
Sure, absolutely. I, let's just say, am a seasoned real estate investor, and I've been buying and selling real estate for 10, 12 years or so. And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different people. And I guess it kind of makes you trust, but what they say, trust but verify. So, I came into the program being a little bit pessimistic, but I can say that everything that you said you were going to do, you were able to do it during the program. And, that's anyone out there that's thinking about using Lorella's program to leverage your business credit, using your personal credit to leverage your business. It's a great program. It's a great opportunity. I came in, I was a little pessimistic, so that in turn made me move a little slower, but still at the end, was able to secure what's going to probably end up to be almost 6 figures in business funding. And it's, and it's been exactly as she said. The whole key was trusting the process. Once I stopped doubting and trusted the process, things went real smooth. So it's all in all, it's been a very, very good process. I've enjoyed it.
Exactly.
I've learned a lot.
Exactly. Thank you, Mark. And and what people need to understand, working with Mark, like he said, he is going to be over the 6, figure mark. And, I say this, not to give any, funding claims or income claims, but everyone's situation is different. And what I tell people is that what separates those people who are able to get funding and those who are not are individuals like Mark who are coachable, who eventually submits to the process and say, you know what, I'm going to let you get the lead. And so far, Mark is already 75K in with getting funding, and he definitely has a whole nother strategic credit lines that he's going to be working on. So probably we may have to do a follow-up video just so we can get a final number on Mark's progress. But Mark, let me just ask you this, with you being a seasoned professional, what have you tried in the past? Like, do you think that this is something that you could have did on your own? Because just want the audience to understand, me and Mark had about a few meetings before he decided to, stake his flag and work with me. Do you think this is something that you could have did by yourself? Because everybody is like, oh, I got YouTube and I can do this and do that. Could you have did this on your own?
No, I couldn't. And I'll tell you why. Because I'd already watched everybody on YouTube I could get that I could. I'd watched them and I listened to what they were doing. And I tried a lot of that stuff. And I had a couple of business lines that I could buy paper goods, and I had a couple of $1,000 credit lines. But when you're doing real estate, a $1,000 that doesn't do you any good. You send one contractor in there, and no, come on. So no, I tried it, and end of the day, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And I'm glad that Mark made that distinction, because that is a very common thing on the internet. People creating the net 30s and getting the trade lines and all this other stuff. But Mark made a good point. When it comes to real estate, you need some cold hard cash. You need some cash. And that, I think that's another thing that hinders people's success is that they try to do it on their own. And what happens is that they either get themselves in a jam, or they just never get to that pinnacle to be able to get the funding. Now, also, what I want people to know, because people may be wondering, well, are there any legal strategies? So there's nothing that that you learned that is going to put both of us in jail. Wouldn't you agree on that, Mark?
Oh, absolutely not. No, not at all.
Yeah,
Everything that we did was totally above board, and uh, it is all information that I'll share with my children because
yeah,
it's stuff that I just didn't know about uh, the credit game and
exactly.
how it's actually used. So,
It's,
all very good, solid information that I
it's
recommend to anyone.
Thank you. And I'm glad that you made that point. You definitely would you agree that you would say that the information in itself is a game changer, because
Mhm.
you can't unlearn what you've learned. Would you say that as well?
Oh yes, yes, yes. You can't unlearn what you know, and just the fact that it's a transferable knowledge base. It's funny that you said that because my daughter and I were sitting at the table last night and I was going over some things with her, trying to help position herself to be able to buy her first home.
That's great.
Not an investment, but her first home. And we were just looking at some things, and I was kind of regurgitating some of the stuff that I've learned over the last 12 weeks as far as credit and how,
Yeah,
and what lenders are looking for. And
exactly.
yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And of course, we won't share this on this testimonial, but Mark, I definitely know that, you shared with me that clearly things that you've learned over the 12 weeks, you saw it take place in
I did.
you going through the process, and no details, because people would have
Yeah.
to make that investment to learn those things. But wouldn't you say that you were shocked, like you were like, oh man, this
I
is
was. I was. Trusting the process is critical. You
yeah.
know, um, trusting the process, and it's going to work.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a proven method. And I once again I was a little pessimistic, and that's why I was a little slower getting to the end because there were some things that I was trying to understand. And yeah, but at the end of the day, you trust the process, and it will work. Yeah, there,
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
exactly. If there was somebody who's on the fence, saying, it's this for me, but I want to get the funding, I want to be able to leverage for real estate. Would you recommend for that person to make the investment and make the move? Would you say it's
Yeah,
worth it? Okay.
I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend it, especially if they're trying to leverage it for real estate. It's well worth it's well worth the time. It's well the return on investment on what you pay is you know that's astronomical, because what you're going to get back is tenfold what you're going to put in, just from my own personal experience. So I would definitely recommend it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mark. It was a pleasure talking to you. You never know what's going to happen. May bring Mark, back again for him too, because he's working on some things. He's already, have some of the funding, and he's got some things in motion. So may have to, do a part two. Won't promise, where he can let us know, how he's leveraged the money. That may be something that I want to do as well. So like I said, if you're someone who is coachable, who want to learn how they can leverage business credit to be able to invest in real estate, don't hesitate to go to www.helpmegetthiscredit.com. Okay, well, thank you.